So before Dragon Age the Veilguard was officially released, the character creator was made public, and it got a ton of criticism for the lack of customization options for certain parts of female characters. For example, the chest slider, in which the options were essentially non-existent, because even when maxed out, there was nearly no noticeable change. Many women in particular calling out BioWare for this odd choice, and one who went viral for doing so was the streamer Nuray, who's now in the news from Fandom Pulse, where they write, Dragon Age the Veilguard critic banned from EA Play for allegedly criticizing EA's partners. By the way, Fandom Pulse, perfect header image right there. BioWare's favorite Veilguard character. They say YouTuber Nuray, who's been vocal about her criticism of Dragon Age the Veilguard, reported on X that she was banned on EA Play. She wrote, I was just banned for 7 days from EA Play because of harassment of EA partners. So Kayla Elizabeth or Unifade Walker, probably both, literally got me banned from a subscription service that I pay for. Not that I care because I don't use it, and after this I sure as heck am not. So we got this image that says, game account, type suspension, reason inappropriate conduct, EA staff, partners, and sponsors, date November 21st to November 28th, status active, with the dispute option. In a subsequent post, Nuray speculated that the alleged quote-unquote harassment that EA is accusing her of was due to her criticism of EA partners Kayla Elizabeth and trans activist Unifade Walker. Nuray wrote, this is so funny because my criticism of Kayla/Eddie was that they had personal ties and the privilege of knowing and interacting with EA staff, and you guys just freaking proved it. For additional context, Unifade Walker had previously gone viral also before Veilguard's release, and also for the character creator, except for that clip where Unifade was like praising the top surgery scar options. So if you've seen that clip, that's the person being referenced here. Kayla Elizabeth was also mentioned, and it looks like she has a YouTube channel that focuses on like BioWare content, it seems. So yeah, there's some more context, and moving on. In another post, Nuray noted that the ban stemmed from comments she made on Twitch and YouTube. She wrote, which one is it, EA? It says that you get suspensions because of activity that goes against TOS while using an EA account, but the activity is harassment, quote unquote, against EA affiliated people that I criticized on YouTube and Twitch, so something ain't adding up. We can see another screenshot here, although the text is really small, bear with me if I get any of this wrong, but let's take a look. It says, infraction reasoning. Inappropriate conduct, EA staff, partners, and sponsors. This is behavior with the intent to harass, abuse, or insult EA, our employees, or others who work with us. This includes hounding, personal attacks, offensive language, and statements that go beyond constructive criticism. If you have feedback on your experience, we want to hear it, and you can give it at this link. You cannot act inappropriately to us. You really gotta wonder how they would define, quote, statements that go beyond constructive criticism, unquote. That's specifically left vague enough that it seems like it's something they could really apply to anything whenever they want. And I don't know about you, but I don't trust corporations to not abuse their power. As far as what the alleged harassment that resulted in her ban was, Nuray shared in a YouTube livestream that it likely had something to do with a Discord server for Archetype Entertainment's upcoming game Exodus. She shared, this is because there's this Exodus Discord server, and one of you told me that Spell and Shield, another content creator, got preemptively banned from the Exodus server because Kayla Elizabeth told the mods that he was a grifter and he was a hater. So she got him banned using her privilege in her numbers to get him banned from the Exodus Discord server, and I've been bringing awareness to that fact. She added, I've been talking about Kayla and people like Eddie, Unifade Walker, having connections to EA and staff at EA, and having a direct line of contact with EA. And now I get banned from EA Play for 7 days for harassment of EA partners and sponsors and whatever. Okay, if that's really what happened, that is so highly pathetic. We need to get these grifters and these haters banned from the Discords and try to get them banned from EA Play too. That'll show them. Like, I thought I saw corpo bootlickers on some of those subreddits, but this is like a whole new level. Looks like they include the part of her video where she talks about this, so let's check it out.
Obviously, privilege in her numbers to get him banned from the Exodus Discord server. And I have been bringing awareness to that fact because guess what? I can do whatever I want. And this is really funny to me that I've been talking about that. I've been talking about Kayla and people like Eddie having connections to EA and staff at EA and having a direct line of contact with EA. And now I get banned from EA Play for 7 days for harassment of EA partners and sponsors and whatever.
Back on November 18th, Newray shared to X that Kayla Elizabeth was apparently policing Exodus Discord server to keep it grift free. Archetype Entertainment, why can she dictate who and who doesn't get access to your server? People are hopeful about Exodus, although very skeptical. Endorsing this behavior doesn't help your case. She then shared screenshots of Spell and Shield accusing Kayla Elizabeth of getting him preemptively banned from the Exodus server without me ever having broken any rules because I'm toxic. Bros, if all this stuff is really what's going on here, like how this all really went down, like this seems like some grade school level behavior right here. Absolutely pathetic stuff. In a post on November 19th, Newray added, about the whole Kayla Elizabeth thing, even if it is not an official server, I do stand by what I said. Archetype Entertainment should shut down any type of unofficial attempt at policing their fandom. It's not Kayla's place to decide who gets to talk about Exodus and who doesn't. Kayla might not advertise herself as an activist, but she is one. From using her platform to ask her audience to mass report accounts to just overall being a disingenuous individual, I wouldn't put it past her to think she's some sort of voice of reason for Exodus. She isn't. Next, she shared screenshots from Kayla Elizabeth's X account, where Elizabeth declared, I want to say so many things because I'm upset, but if you're consuming content made by bigots who target others for being trans, black, or other marginalized identities, and you're okay with that because they have quote-unquote valid criticism, then you're a freaking bigot too. This happened in a Discord, and I let a mod know. So I'm not going to bring more attention to the loser who defended bigotry, but how you can be bigoted and be a DA fan is beyond me. Pathetic. Elizabeth added. We can see a screenshot of what we just read right here, and Newray had captioned this saying, Kayla Elizabeth is a keyboard warrior, a pathetic shill rallying people behind her to censor and shape other communities to her liking. She has a history of doing this. She will try to do this with Exodus and Mass Effect 5, screenshots provided by @ChattySissa. We can see another example right here in this tweet that reads, it's awesome to see CD Projekt Red push back against lying grifters because the only way to make these losers shut up is to prove they're liars and frauds. I wish more devs would publicly denounce the quote-unquote anti-woke grifter BS, but I unfortunately understand it makes them a target too. Kayla Elizabeth, who was a member of BioWare's Community Council for Dragon Age the Veilguard, claims she was not involved in getting Newray banned. Elizabeth wrote, I'm not an EA employee or partner. I have no control over what EA does, and I'm just one person from a council of over 10 who had very different opinions that offered feedback on a game that was finished for a while. Leave me alone. I'll probably deactivate for a bit. And yeah, it does seem like currently Kayla cannot be found on Twitter or on Blue Sky. Unifade Walker also responded to Newray saying, ooh, someone's mad they got their wrist slapped with a ban. Why aren't you telling people what you did to get your ban, Newray? Why are you leaving that out? Do you need me to tell everyone what you did to get banned? Because I have no problem telling everyone. Sure enough, 51 minutes ago, Unifade did actually post more information saying, the anti-woke crowd claiming that the only reason she was banned was for being a tiny bit critical of EA. Funny how they're not actually talking about how she threatened people and told them to end their own lives. Why do you think they're leaving that detail out? So here's the thing, Eddie doesn't know if those people that are covering the situation are intentionally leaving that detail out, or if, for example, they simply don't know about it. Because in the article that I was going over, there's no mention of the detail that Unifade is about to present that we're going to take a look at. And so I wouldn't have known about that either unless Unifade made this tweet from 51 minutes ago that, once again, like I just said, we're going to take a look at now. And here we can see Eddie saying using your platform to threaten people and tell them to become a statistic is a textbook violation of TOS. She didn't get banned for being critical, she got banned for running her mouth. Funny how they aren't mentioning this, isn't it? Well, like I just said, there could be a very reasonable explanation to it. And yeah, I'm not going to play the clip because there's lots of profanity and I'm too lazy to censor all that. It would take a good minute for me to do that. But yeah, in the clip, Newray does essentially tell some of these people to Minecraft themselves with some paraphrasing I'm using there. Eddie then saying, remember kids, freedom of speech is not freedom of the consequences of said speech. If you violate TOS on an IP that then suspends you for violations, take the L like an adult and move on with your life. Stop blaming me for something you said with your whole chest. Well, look, to be fair, there's been a lot of very immature behavior throughout this entire situation from what I've seen. I do think Newray got too heated in the clip that I saw. At the same time, like I mentioned, a lot of these other people have also been acting really immature, so there's no room to talk about like acting like an adult or whatever. The other thing to take note of is the point that Newray made way earlier about this clause in the EA Terms of Service, apparently, where they say suspension will temporarily remove your access to a game, part of a game, or your EA account when we notice activity on your EA account that goes against our Terms of Service or rules of conduct. So if they're policing for off EA account activity that's not mentioned in the TOS, that does seem like a very valid point to bring up. I also think it's extremely lame to like go tattletale on Nure to EA. Like I even said, I do think she got too heated, but then like reporting her to EA is such an L move. Anyways, that seems to essentially be the situation, and I gotta head out in a minute, so I'll wrap this up here and get it uploaded. As always, thank you all for tuning in. Let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments. Appreciate you. Consider liking and or subscribing if you enjoyed my coverage, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.